this is Butch Lieber again with another Cromford training video. Today I'm going to talk about appreciation. Now, appreciation could be a lot of things, right? So appreciation is the value of a home over time, what happens over time. And our value is based on what similar homes have sold for in the neighborhood. So we're going to talk about different ways of looking at appreciation because it helps, and there are some charts that help, particularly in this market being October 2020's market, where prices are appreciating fairly quickly. And we sometimes have to convince an appraiser why they have to give us our sale price, why our price is a valid price. But there's three parts. I want to make sure you understand the whole process. So there's three parts to this today. We're going to talk first about ways to measure price. What should we look for when we're measuring for appreciation? The math. How do you calculate appreciation? And then we're going to go look at the charts. Okay. I want to start with ways to measure price to look at appreciation. So people always jump to, and what usually gets reported in the press is what's happening with our median price, what's happening with our average price. Our average price, take all the sales, divide them by the number of sales, and it gives you the average. Average is a really good number to watch over time to see what happens, but depending on the shifts in the market, our lower end price is selling, our higher end price is selling, and the lower end stops at zero. The higher end can go as far as $3, $4, $5, $15 million, which could really skew an average number. So the average numbers are great to know, right? The average price in the Phoenix market it's not a great measure of what really houses are. Median is a better price. Median is, if you lay all the prices together, the one right in the middle is the median price. And that means 50% of houses sell for more than that, and 50% of houses sell for less than that. So it gives you a good sense of where the market is. This example on the screen shows you some lists of numbers, and all the middle numbers are the same, but this one we've replaced 3 of the high-end numbers with higher numbers, and 3 of the lower prices with lower numbers. Same exact median price. Does that really give us a sense of what houses are selling for in the neighborhood? And then in this list, our average price is $405. This list is $341. Again, what's the best sense of the market? $341, $365, or $405? Who knows, right? So these are good measures, and consumers want to know these measures, but not the best way to measure appreciation. The other challenge with median price is that when the market inventory changes, or certain segments of the market again take off, like right now in October 2020, our luxury market is booming, which means there's way more sales at the high end that move the median price up, but it doesn't mean there's appreciation. It just means our median price is going up. So rising prices don't mean appreciation. It just means prices are going up. And again, based on the split of what's selling, the ratio of what's selling in the market. So one of the best measures we look at is price per square foot. When we measure price per square foot, that's a really good measure. But there's two ways to measure price per square foot. The first way, and the way most people measure it, and the way the MLS measures it, takes all the square footage, adds them together, divides by the number, and it gives you the average. That's great when all of the square footage is around the same size. So when you're pulling comps in the MLS and looking at square footage, it's a good measure, right? So the way Cromford report measures price per square foot is it adds all the prices, and then it adds all the square feet, and then it divides. That means basically, and what you may have heard Tina say in the past, is that gives every square foot an equal vote when it comes to the price per square foot. So when all of our properties are around the same size or close, the numbers average out to about the same. But what happens, and if you're doing comps, you can pull out outliers. Cromford report can't pull out outliers, it's using all the data. So if there's an outlier, it still has to use it. And if we calculate, here's one where we replace the lower number with a 500 square foot house, which bumps the price per square foot. Now if we calculate the average the way MLS would calculate it, we get a 154.9 average price per square foot. But there's only one property that actually sold over 154.9. Doesn't, again, give us a good measure of what the price per square foot is. It has a much bigger influence on the average when you average this way. However, if we add up all the prices and add up all the square feet and then divide, we get 142.33, which is a more reasonable representation of the average of these properties. So inside the Cromford report, when we're using price per square foot, it gives you a better sense, and every square foot gets an equal vote. So this is the measure we're going to use to calculate appreciation. All right, so here I am on a calculator that I found on the web that just calculates percent change. Really, all appreciation is what's the change in value from today tomorrow. If today's value was $100,000 and it's sold next year at $120,000, it's appreciated 20%, right? So when we're looking for that percent change or appreciation, we're going to add what's our initial value, what's our final value, and then we find the difference and divide the difference by the initial value. So 20,000 divided by 100,000 gives us 0.2, which is 20%. So here's the calculation right here on the screen, right? Take your final number, subtract it from the initial number, divide it by the initial number, and multiply by 100, and that's your percent change. So if today your house was $320,000, next year it's worth, the neighborhood average is $350,000. Your appreciation, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Your appreciation is 9.3. The value's gone up 9.38%. That's our appreciation, right? Prices have appreciated 9.3%. So that's the math when it comes to calculating appreciation, because we're going to look at a lot of starting numbers and ending numbers, and it's a real simple calculation. So I want you to understand that before we go to the next step. In the Cromford report, we now want to find our price per square foot charts, and there's a number of those. So it starts with Tableau charts, and then average sales price per square foot. Let's do that again. Average sales price per square foot. And then when I hover over it, we've got a monthly average, we've got monthly average in foreign currency, and moving averages 3, 6, and 12 months. Let's start with monthly average short term. The monthly average sales price per square foot chart calculates monthly average per month. So this number, 207.73, is of all the closings this month, this is our average price per square foot. It includes all the sales, includes all the types if we don't change them out of here, right? That's our average price per square foot. A year ago, October, our number was 173.81. So in a year, it's gone from 173.81 to 207.73, October to October. It's only comparing the month. Our market is typically seasonal, and you can see some seasonal changes in this chart. Look, here's a low in July, here's a low in August, here's a low in July, here's a low in July, here's a low in August. So typically our lowest price per square foot we see in July and August. Well, why is that? You could say the market, why does it fluctuate seasonally? Well, traditionally, before 2020, the crazy year that was, the luxury market slows down in the summertime. So with fewer higher priced homes, fewer homes that sell at a higher price per square foot, our average is going to drop. It doesn't really lower the appreciation. So if we're looking at year over year appreciation, measuring it month to month gives us a good sense of where we are today versus last year. Problem with 2020 is this year's upside down. Our luxury market is booming in October, way more than ever, so the number may be distorted. But if we're looking at numbers, again, last October was a 173.81. If we do our calculation, 207.73 minus 173.81. The difference is 33 divided by 173.81. Appreciation is 19.5%. Between last October and this October, prices have increased 19.5%. Now, as I said before, our market this year is topsy-turvy. Our luxury market is booming, which is not usual for this time of year. So if you were really going to do a report for a seller to let them know what's happening in their area, you want to be specific. And you'll see if we remove our luxury out of here and look at just up to $500,000 as our sale price, you'll see our seasonality disappears. That up and down kind of, the chart levels out a little bit. And it's not quite as extreme. Last October was 156.16. divided by 150, 616. And really, for homes under $500,000, we are having an appreciation of 12.4%. Okay, so it's always best. This is one of the charts I always bring with me to a listing presentation. So it's always best to do it by a specific price point or specific zip code. Now, recently, they've modified this chart so that you can also measure based on square footage. So what if we only cared about 1,500 square foot to 2,000 square foot houses? Right now, what's happening for that size property? Right? Has that size property appreciated? And so our chart is now going to be based on size, price per square foot. And now you could, after you've done square foot, now we can come in and choose a price point. So let's say between houses that have sold between 250 and 400,000 that are between 1,500 and 2,000, this is what's happened. When you have a chart that's this erratic, you can kind of get a sense of the trajectory, but it's really hard to see what's actually happening. So you can measure by square foot, you can measure by price. We're getting now, the more we limit it down, the less data there is, the charts are more erratic. So I'd stick with square footage, and I might look at zip code, right? If you're selling in a zip code, what's been happening in that area. So this is month versus last year's month of data. That's one way to measure appreciation. A second way to measure appreciation is on a rolling average. So again, under Tableau charts, average sales price per square foot, moving averages 3, 6, and 12 months. This gives us a chart that's got 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. 3-month moving average, this number, 199.82, basically averages the last 3 months of sales. So in the last 3 months, our average is 199.82 a square foot. If we go back to September, each dot is 1 month. That's 3 months, September, August, July. Try doing that backwards. Average is 195.20. So prices are up a certain amount. So if we look at last October, we're looking at the 3 months preceding October, right? So this is August, September, October 2019 versus this year. The 3-month moving average, again, it shows some changes, again, affected by the luxury. If we pull luxury out of this, 80 to 85% of all homes on the market in the Valley sell for under $500,000. So the luxury market's numbers skew the data, but fewer homes are in that price point. So you see this, it levels out when we remove that. 3-month tells us what's happened. We can see when the chart goes up faster, prices are going up faster. We can see the last few months prices have shot up, where here it was kind of level. And here it was a nice steady growth. You can kind of see changes and trends in the marketplace. The 12-month moving average is another really good number that looks at the last year. So again, this dot for October 2020 takes into account all the sales in the last 12 months and then does the calculation again, adds up all the sales prices, all the price per square feet, and then divides, and we come to 164.12. This is probably our best value of real appreciation. So let's get the calculator back on here, right? So this year it's 164.12. A year ago, October, it was 150.85. Divide that by the 150.85, and we see an appreciation of about 8.8%, or 8 times 100, to give us our percentage. So 8.79, 8.8% is what's year over year appreciation. So last year to this year, this is probably our best rate. Prices are up about 8.8% valley-wide. Now this changes in different parts of town. And I said this is how you can use data to show an appraiser why your house is worth more. I recently had a listing in Avondale. So in Avondale, prices have been crazy. It's been a super hot market. And my listing was under $500,000. Well, let's look at Avondale's appreciation. Today it's at 140. A year ago, October, it was 127.53. So now we've got times 100. So now we've got a 9.8% appreciation. So the rate of appreciation in Avondale is higher than the Valley's rate of appreciation. And if we narrow this down even further, right, the house that I had listed was around $350,000. Between $300,000 and $500,000, here's last October at 117 or 118 to 130. So if we take this year's 130.27 minus last October 117.56 divided by 117.56 times 100, I've now got a 10.8% appreciation, 2 percentage points higher than Valley-wide. So I sent my appraiser, said, look, prices in Avondale are appreciating faster than prices in the rest of the Valley. So the 12-month moving average is going to be our best sense of appreciation in the long term. What's happened over the long term? It's a year of data. So what's happened to prices over the course of a year? So remember, if you want, and then if you're going to show a client, our sellers today in today's crazy market know, hey, we can push the price up because prices are going up, and we want them to be more reasonable. Depending on your style, you might be more aggressive on price, you may be a little more laid back on price. So you can pull the charts that best help you show the numbers to educate your client. Here's what's happened year over year. There's an 8% appreciation. However, this October versus last October has a much higher rate of appreciation. This October's crazy versus last year. Does it mean that's our appreciation? Not necessarily. It just means that the numbers have gone up. And you have to understand, when you're looking at appreciation, look at the segment of the market the property is in that you're looking at. Keep it at price per square foot at a certain price range. Keep it in a square footage range, or keep it in a regional area to see what's happening in that area. Because the broader the data, the more impact you have by shifts in the market and what's in the inventory. I do want to show you under the analysis charts by topic, there is an appreciation section where you can get based on the annual average price per square foot, the monthly average price per square foot. Remember, annual takes a year of data, monthly takes month over month. You can see the chart on the screen right here is the annual average is showing 10.1%. If we go to the appreciation monthly average weekly chart, we'll see that number jump way up to that 18%. So these charts do valley-wide appreciation, but it doesn't give you the flexibility to narrow down to price point, zip code, or combine the two. There are charts as well in the analysis by topic, appreciation, by city, by price range, and by zip code. So useful charts as well, but not as much manipulation. You can't do as much manipulation as you can with the other charts. I hope this is helpful for you. My name is Butch Lieber. I am a business coach as well as a real estate agent for the last 18 years. I help agents improve their business, take their business to the next level. I do classes on using the Cromford Report. I will help you create custom reports. I do charge for all of that. And I do coaching and mindset. And if I can help you with your business in any way, please don't hesitate to give me a call. Stay tuned for contact information for me and for the Cromford Report. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you out in the field.